Hello YouTube, Pandis Pandus here, and welcome to my 2020 Rewind video. A lot has happened since that 2019 Rewind video, where I actually said a final farewell to YouTube. I created creations, I stood on the stage, and I had a joyful journey. Now it's time to leave. I'm waving to the crowd, thanking them for this adventure. This has been Pandis Pandus, and peace out. Since then, I have started a new YouTube channel about personal development. I have been building behind the scenes, and I've changed the course of my LEGO life. I explained these updates in my last video. I didn't record my LEGO building throughout the year, so this will be a different kind of rewind video, but I got 3 awesome things for you. A brief update on my LEGO Ideas project, my 2 submissions for a LEGO contest, and a revisit of my modular building mock from 5 years ago. Let's get started. Number 1. The Pinball Frame. During the first half of the year, I didn't build much LEGO, but I decided that I would revisit my LEGO Ideas project, the Pinball Frame. I would spend the rest of the year on designing, and before the summer 2021 started, I would have relaunched the project. Half a year has passed, and the Pinball Frame is as good as finished. I can't believe that the upgrades turned out so awesomely great, and I can't wait to relaunch the project, because I don't want to share it now due to secrecy concerns. However, you can find a lot of sneak peeks in my Twitter feed, at Pandis Pandus. Number 2. The LEGO Contest. I participated in a LEGO contest as a fun way to end the year. The Scandinavian toy store Lekia hosted a LEGO contest stretching over a period of 8 weeks. There would be a weekly winner and a grand winner of the entire contest. The first creation we submitted is these 3 big bricks. The story here is that these bricks are actual presents under the Christmas tree, containing LEGO of course. We can see the Christmas tree at the top, as well as these small presents, mirroring the big creation. These bricks are a whopping 40 times the size of an actual brick, so they're big, but they're far from solid. Only the size that would be visible in the photo were covered up. Not because we're lazy, but because we're smart. Right? And we didn't have enough bricks to cover it up anyway. However, we did have bricks to cover parts of the table, so that the entire thing looks like it's made out of LEGO bricks. So that's what we did. And for Christmas, the creation was transformed from big bricks to great gifts, as you can see on my Instagram page. This is the Castle of Dreams, which is the main submission I worked on. The creation is essentially a book, and the bookmark works as a red carpet into the story. I wanted to illustrate the feeling that you can have when walking into a toy store. I feel like the creative castle colors and the grand green garden achieves this awesome feeling. The red L is also supposed to resemble the toy store Lekia, or perhaps Lego. I think that this creation is very pleasing to look at. We can see that the building blocks are slightly angled on the battlement. There is a river of loose studs running through the castle. Most of the garden is using the studs not on top technique. There is a grand yellow flag at the top, a piece separator staircase, and a statue of the trophy I aspired to claim. So, how did the contest go? By the time I'm recording this, the results of last week's competition and the grand competition hasn't been revealed yet. Everything from the lack of feedback, the weak marketing, and the vague rules have made this a very messy contest in my eyes. Especially when considering that Lekia is sponsoring LEGO Masters Sweden. It's the greatest flop I've seen this month, but with that said, the contest did kick me into action and it was very entertaining to build the submissions. Number 3. My modular building Cookies and Coffee. This modular building mock CNC was built in 2015, I think, and I should have shared it a long ago.
So I built a modular building, Cookies and Coffee. Interior is not featured on YouTube yet, A cool Lego mod called Cookies and Coffee. That creation is actually done now, so I'm working with the presentation. Cookies and Coffee. Not featured on YouTube yet, but will probably be this summer.
Finally, Master Builders, I present Cookies and Coffee. It's been collecting dust here in the basement for quite some time, and if it included a piece I needed, I would borrow that piece. So for this video, I've been dusting it off, somewhat, and I've been piece hunting for quite some time to make this presentable and very accurate to the original model. My first impression is that the facade looks very messy. I think there is nothing wrong with the looks of the individual compartments, but when they're all bundled together, it looks unorganized to me. However, I can somewhat overlook the facade for this feature. This modular building can in fact be folded in half. It's not a very useful feature, but it looks really cool, and it definitely made it easier to get all the different camera angles for this video. The building is a family house, with the family business Cookies and Coffee, and the fishing store of the grandfather, known as Frank the Fisherman. The fishing store is mostly open, but sometimes it's gone fishing. The cafe is very grand. At the time I built this, it was definitely my biggest mock. I think that the entire creation contains over 4,000 pieces, but I'm not really sure. I think that most of the design looks outdated, but I still like the counter, this cleaning area, and the storage space, which actually holds a secret. Just like the modular building set Detective's Office, you can smuggle some cookies through the floor of the attic, into the bathroom, and out of the building through the wall. I think that the idea was that the construction worker who pretended to fix this broken part of the building was the thief. He had figured out that the most delicious cookies, served to the royal family of the country in fact, were stored in the attic. Entering the next floor will take us to Frank's room. This is where you'll know he's really into fishing stuff. He can quickly access his shop through a ladder located under the bed, which can fold up to the wall. When he's not in the shop, he usually sits around in his very comfortable chair, writing about his sea adventures. This bookshelf may not look very suspicious at first glance, but if you pull out the one book sticking out a little, you can access Frank's secret room, containing golden fishing equipment, rumored to be a bit magical. This floor also contains a bathroom and a kitchen with movable compartments, including a fridge. I'm not sure why you can pull back this staircase, because there is nothing important to access here. The top floor houses the rooms of the parents and their child. I remember that the kids' room was very fun to design. Judging by the kids' possessions, I think we got a prankster in the house. This is a very open space and a very empty space. I didn't think about, for example, a wardrobe to store clothes, but apparently I included 2 sunbeds that you can take out to the balcony or to the rooftop. You might be wondering why there is a fishing rod here, and I'll give you the story. So Frank is a fishing nerd, we have established that, right? But he lives in the middle of a modular building city, so there is nowhere to fish. Well, until now. From the rooftop, Frank can practice his hobby by fishing his weekly barrel of cookies from this counter to the rooftop. Yeah, it's a bit crazy. I think we're done with this build. Overall, I have to say that some aspects of the creation have stood the test of time. However, it does look pale in comparison to my abilities nowadays, and even to my 2017 modular building, named Arts, which I may revisit someday, because revisiting Cookies and Coffee was really fun. When I reconstructed this build, I remembered how many nostalgic memories this wonderful creation holds. Okay, this video was indeed very fun to make, and it took me a very long time, so I hope you enjoyed it. For now, I have nothing else to say than Happy New Year, take care, and we'll see each other again when I have something LEGO related worth sharing. Thanks for watching, this has been Pandis Pandus, and peace out.